Alright guys, hey, welcome back. We're gonna do this again at this nice little table here with all these nice scrolls in this beautiful room here. We're up near Gundabad, by the way, the original resting place of the dwarves before they woke up. We're trying to take them back from the orcs. Little lore background. But for this episode, I'm gonna talk about the trait panel. Alright? So, we are going to talk about the trait panel. Here's what we got. So I'm going to do this on my main character on the Guardian Zolan. This trait panel, these three areas will be different depending on what class you are. So what we're going to talk about first is if you want to be DPS. Usually you can hover this. It will, if the name, and it will tell you a description. Uses bleeds and high damage. Attacks the foes. All right. So this is good for killing things. You're a damage character. Guardian's main goal is to be a tank, correct, usually. So Defender of the Free People uses mitigations and defense to protect allies. So basically, you are the main tank. Guardians are probably still the heaviest, be able to be hit the hardest at any other class. Where Wardens are good tanks too, but they're more for good at ads. They can also tank things pretty hard, but Guardians are the ones that can take a hit from, a troll to the face and they won't be dead. The Fighter Shadow, it uses light magic and two-handed tanking in combat. So it helps you basically, you're kind of an off tank with Guardians. You're kind of more of an AoE, you're using your roars to do a little bit more magic damage, and you're kind of sustaining while you two-hand tank. You can't get hit nearly as hard. So you're probably going to be tanking ads with this more. So anyway, so as you can see here, there are, I have an extra slot. So I've renamed them. DPS two-hand I wrote. And then I forget, I think you read it here, rename. See? Yeah, and you can have up to 3, so you can have all 3. You have to buy the other one. I just like to have 2, because I don't ever need more than that. So I open this. When I click that, as you can see, it brought all my points over to here, right? So now look, you've even noticed some of my skills changed down here at the bottom. I haven't organized them for a while. Apparently there is a time limit now to switch between. It used to not be a thing, but it doesn't look like it's very long. So as you can see, as you upgrade and put points in to these skills, I'm going to say I'm going to respec, okay, for this one. So watch this. So I'm going to click respec. It does cost money. Refunds all your spent points. It will cost you 1 gold coin and 720 silver pieces. I'm a rather rich dwarf on this particular dwarf, so I'm going to do it just to show you guys. But be careful with this later, because this is kind of a lot of money, actually. Okay, boom. All right, I'm respecing, right? So this one, I'm going to respec again. This is where it's important, guys. The first thing you spec in will cost 1 point to level something up. You can then if you fill up a tree or you want to spec into another tree at the same time, it'll cost 2 of your points for that other tree, depending on if you're not spec'd in it. So I'm going to spec in tank again. So if you notice, I have 82 total points that I've earned over time from questing and leveling and deeds. If let's say, okay, so all right, I get sting. My sting ability right here provides more block chance, parry chance, or whatever. So I click that, right? So it costs 1 point. Look, if I put a point in one of these, see how it costed 2? Do you see that? By the way, you can right click before you say apply to undo things. Right and left click. Let's say I'm respecing. As you spec into something, if you notice this thing on the left keeps going down, boom, now I got this passively. Guardian's Defense. So I got that for free because I spec'd a certain amount into this tree. So you just keep specking. This is going to give me Guardian's Pledge, which is a really good tanking ability. Basically makes you really hard to hit for 15 seconds. So basically, and you can read them all. They tell you what they do. Right, we'll do a whole thing on stats, a video on stats, but block chance, that kind of makes sense, right? Chance to block. A lot of things are self-forward, right, in the game. So I'm just going to keep specking into everything, right? So I'm just specking, right? I'm just going to do everything to max in this tree because it only costs 1, right? So, and this is my normal tanking one anyway, right? So that's all specs. There we go, we're specced out. So then I have a secondary to spec, right? So what do I want to do for my... So if I like doing sometimes to roll a battle into the healing, because if I crit with my shield or something, I get a little heal, right? It helps me tank. So sometimes... what was that? Someone put a little horn sound. That's kind of cool. Some emote. Alright, so anyway, so we're going to spec a little into that, and then let's see, I want to spec into this for hit more targets, because that's kind of nice as an tank, even when I'm main tanking. Heal modifier is good. Ward chance good to have. It gives you another ability, additional debuffs. So there we go. That's about it. That's all I can spec. So now once you have your spec, I can't do one more because I don't have enough for one, and I don't have two yet for another one. So that's all I can do, right? So I have one left over. I can then name it. I already named it though. I named this my tank one. So I say apply. You say save changes. Boom, and then watch. See, I got some skills. So these are only skills you get from this defense tree. I got like this one's so cool. Juggernaut basically makes me I have 100% chance to block for a few seconds, right? So, and it looks super cool, this ability. I mean, look at how cool this ability looks when I use it. I've got these like shields that are around me, right? It's super cool. Looks cooler when I'm actually holding a shield. But anyway, so that is the trait tree. That is how you trait your characters, and it is important to, again, depending on what you want to do. If you're questing by yourself, the middle one's usually the damage one, depending on whatever rate class you're playing. That's usually good to have your questing by yourself. You do need to make sure you're spec'd correctly, though, if you're doing an instance with your friends. So if you're a healer and you're in the red line as a minstrel with our main character for our channel, right? That could be bad if you're doing damage and your friends want you to be the healer, and now you can't even heal very good because you're spec'd wrong. So that's important. Anyway, so we're going to end the video here with that. So that is the trait tree panel. Those are very important in the game. You earn those by doing leveling up, by doing certain story quests, and by certain deeds, which that is how you're going to earn your points for this. And the LOTRO Wikipedia is a great resource to help you find like what thing you might have missed or something. If you're like, I should have more points right now. I must have missed a story quest. Great resource, the LOTRO Wikipedia, you guys. Again, too, this is race traits. As you can see, I've earned all of them. Usually you earn them through doing a deed, your race trait. And then, like, obviously, like, see this one right here, that gives me Endurance of Stone. There's Endurance of Stone. I keep that because you cast that, and now I have this immunity on me for 10 seconds where I take 50% reduced incoming damage of both ranged, melee, and tactical, which are the 3 kinds of damage in the game. Tactical is going to be light damage, dark damage. Range is obviously what it sounds like, arrows, things shooting at you. And melee are going to be weapons, swords, everything else that hits you in the face. So, there we go. And then obviously, again, the virtues we talked about a little bit in our other video. I'll go over it real briefly. You click it, left click one of these to be earning it. You can hover it to see the stats on it. We'll do a video on stats again. And what you want for your stats, depending on who you're playing. And also, then you see, for me, I like to have these ones that give me HP and defensive stats, or physical damage, or vitality, or armor. These are all really good to have. If you can see end game, they do get really good. I mean, this thing has given me 3,400 vitality, right? This one trait. That's a lot of vitality, considering if you look at my character and you look at how much vitality I have 4,800, right? Almost 4,900. True, that seems like not a very big conversion, but actually that's a huge amount of HP I'm getting for that 34. That's probably like a couple thousand health. So it's a big difference in battles. So anyway, there you are. That's how you have it. What is oh, interesting. I did not realize this. They actually have a different oh no, never mind. I just switched back to my damage one. Hee hee. Never mind. That's the same. This panel works for just the class traits. These are just random other things underneath it. All right. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this episode, you guys. I will come back with some more with other detailed things, but that is the deed log. I mean, not the deed log, I'm sorry. The trait log for the traits, for both racial traits and for class traits, and your virtues, which you earn over time by doing deeds and quests as well, and killing things. And you also earn them slowly with XP depending on which one you're clicked on, earning. So make sure you're clicked on the one you want to be earning. And you can also accelerate that with certain accelerators, just like when you're doing deeds. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll be back with another episode of Voice of the Rings with the technical stuff in the game to make it easier for you to figure it out, and you're not sitting there for 4 hours trying to figure it out yourself. I am your host and guide, Zullen Ironshield.